Welcome back to the internet safe space. I'm here with none other than Kiby, the man, the myth, the legend, the upcoming, not even the upcoming, the known legend from pre-Big Honcho era. Kiby, say something?
What's up, y'all? Excited to be on the pod. Kind of a short notice pod, but I'm very happy to lock in and just have a great conversation.
Thank you, Kiby. And, of course, we have Jake, straight out of Queens, on the cord. Say something, Jake.
It's good to be back. I feel like I haven't been on this podcast in a while, and I'm happy to be here on such positive and amazing vibes. Amazing time to come on the pod.
It has been a minute. The last pod I did with Jake was the Stranger Things, where we tore apart season 5 in the finale,
That's right.
and that was
Yeah.
that was awesome. Um, okay,
Mhm.
so before we get into it, I'll do my sound check real quick just to make sure we're not about to record an hour of dead air, and then we can get right into it. Okay, sound check was good. So you saw the title of the video, whatever the hell I ended up making it, but more or less, we're going to be discussing the current state of New York sports, and I'm going to give Jake the position to really just go in on the Knicks because, and Jake, you can start with some of your history with the team because we have a diehard since like 10 years old or younger Knicks fan. I could even, if the editor isn't lazy, we could throw in some pictures pop up of Jake at the games when he was like a kid. But and Kibby is a fan of the Knicks as well. I don't know how long. I don't know if for you it's the same, but
It's definitely been a while. Definitely back in the Mellow days, and especially with Jeremy Lin. I definitely got really inspired to play basketball. So I would say it probably goes back to that, but obviously I know the history with Ewing and Willis Reed and all of that. So yeah, they're definitely my team, but definitely follow them pretty heavy. But I would say I'm a pretty big fan, but I would consider Jake definitely more of a dire fan than I am. But
and me and Kibby are actually in a once a week basketball league together. So we do play. We do actively play. I wouldn't say I'm that good, but and I myself am a Celtics fan. I only started watching basketball about 2 years ago, and I didn't really have. I know Jake's shaking his head. I didn't really have a team, but my friend Tommy was getting me into the sport, and he's Irish. Like his family visits Ireland and shit. Like they have a bunch of family there, and he's a huge Celtics fan. Like goes to Boston to watch the games and shit. Um, and he was like, "Hey, if you want a team to root for," he was like, "start watching Celtics games with me, and that can be your team." And so that's what I started doing. And now, I'm Celtics for life now. But I'm not super into basketball, so it's like when I watch, they are my team. But I'm much more into football and baseball. I'm a Mets fan and a Raiders fan, so you can imagine that doesn't go. That's not the best two to pick. But Jake, floor is yours. Tell the people some of your history with the team and just start running with it.
I was born in 2002, which was pretty much the start of the decline of the Knicks. Um, I love a lot of sports, football, baseball, even soccer. This World Cup has been amazing. We could do another pod about that if you wanted. Just that's been generational. I love watching sports. I love sports in general. I love competing. Basketball has always been my favorite sport. My first memory with the Knicks is probably around 2012, 2011, Melo, Jeremy Lin, which is around the same time my dad started working at Madison Square Garden for the Knicks play. That privilege got me to go to a lot of the Knicks games, which is when I fell in love with the team. They are my favorite team. I'm a fan of the Packers. I'm a fan of the Mets, but the Knicks triumph all. They're my favorite team. I've watched every regular season since I was 10. And even when they won 17 games and lost 65, I stuck with them. And I'm happy to say it's paid off. There's been some great years. There's been the highlights. There's been some lowlights, as there are with many teams. To see your team finally win is surreal, and I'm still riding that high. It feels like a buildup especially of the past couple years, especially when we got Jalen Brunson, who really kind of saved the franchise. I mean, they had some good playoff runs. Well, I only one playoff run before then with Julius Randle. But, you didn't sense that team could go all the way. You could sense that there was hope in the franchise with that player and that coach who he didn't get to the mountaintop. there's a lot of moves that needed to be made um, throughout the years to get to the point where they are now. Um, it's crazy that they're here, given the history of the franchise, not winning since 1973, not making the final since '99, and just all the losing seasons mixed with all the behind the scenes drama. I mean, their owner James Dolan is so controversial, has been for years, continues to be even after they've won a championship. He'll never not be a controversial figure just by the way he speaks and the stuff he does. There was so much drama, on and off the court, but they finally did it, and people doubted them. People continued to doubt them even after they made the Eastern Conference Finals last year. They lost in a heartbreaking fashion in a way I'll never forget, in a way that I thought this is our only chance type of thing. But anything's possible. Sports can be crazy. I was watching the regular season of the Knicks this year. They won the championship, and I was like, I don't know if this team can win it all, but it shows you that like anything can change if you have the right players. You can strike lightning in a bottle and capture something special, and that's what the Knicks team did. And it was an unreal feeling, a roller coaster of emotions, even though they only lost 3 games during the playoff run. And by a combined total of 6 points, they lost 2 games by 1 point back to back, and then 1 game by like 4 points. Even so, the finals was so close. Like we won in 5 games, but every game went down to the wire, and every game was so dramatic, especially Game 4, which came down to a great play by OG Anunoby, where he puts the ball in with 1.2 seconds left to complete a 29 comeback, which is the greatest comeback in finals history. The Knicks, they made a lot of historic stuff happen this postseason, and I never thought I'd see my team do it. So that completes a long rant of my history with the team. I grew up watching them struggle. Didn't get made fun of for liking them, but it was kind of like, oh, look at the Knicks being the Knicks again, failing or doing something stupid. I remember 2019, they missed out on signing Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving because they went to Brooklyn, and then they lost the lottery pick for Zion Williamson, and they ended up signing Julius Randle. And it was like, oh my God, yeah, this is the Knicks can't get in. No superstars want to come to the Knicks. The Knicks can't even get the next draft prospect to come to the Knicks. And look what happened. Even when they signed Jalen Brunson, who had just, stepped in for Luka Doncic in the playoffs and showed that he was a really great playoff performer, as he would to do for years with the Knicks. People doubted when we signed him. People thought we overpaid for him. People thought we gave up too many picks for Mikal Bridges. People thought we made the wrong move by firing Tom Thibodeau. People thought we made the wrong move by giving up on Julius Randle, DiVincenzo, and signed Cat, who people thought was not a winner, was too soft. Tons of moves that people doubted, and they turned out well. So it's very satisfying to see the team not only succeed but prove people wrong.
Thank you, Jake. Yeah, I mean, I think just from that right there, everyone watching this can feel your passion. And coming from avid Raiders fan, I can tell you, because when we talked about this, I always said to Jake, like, help me understand this, because I haven't watched basketball for long and I don't know the gravity. And Jake said to me, he's like, when they were going on the run, he's like, imagine if the Raiders were in the playoffs and playing well. And then he was like, imagine if the Raiders won a Super Bowl. And when he said it like that, that really helped me understand, because if the Raiders ever won a Super Bowl, that would be tweaked. Shout out Mendoza. Maybe it's possible now. They have a young team, but we're not talking about that. I actually wanted to ask you a question, Jake, and Nick, you can hop in on this too. There's a common phrase like going around that people say, or it's on Instagram, where they say, everybody is better than Jalen Brunson until it's time to be better than Jalen Brunson, right? What are your thoughts on that statement? And yeah, that's it.
It's fun to say that statement just because, I mean, he just continues to show people up in the biggest moments when it actually matters. I think that phrase is a thing because people doubt Jalen Brunson because of his height. He's like 6'1", 6'2", which is like nothing in the NBA. Nowadays the conception is you need to have a very tall player that leads your basketball team, tall person like Wembanyama, who's 7'5", who he just beat in the finals. I think the finals is an encapsulation of that phrase. It's like everyone in the world thinks Wembanyama is a better basketball player than Jalen Brunson, right? And I'm not even saying that's not true, like because Wemby is young, but he will probably end up having a greater career, or is probably a better basketball player in a more general, broad sense than Jalen Brunson. However, in the biggest moments, Jalen Brunson showed up. Wembanyama did not. And this is a little unfair on Wembanyama because he is young. It's his first time, and not even in the finals, in the playoffs. I have a lot of hate towards Wembanyama now just because of how he played against my team. I did like him before that. And, I think he went from being loved to being hated because he took down the Thunder, who were the original villains because of Shea, because of the flopping. People hated that team, and to see Wemby beat them, people loved Wemby for that. And then he faced the Knicks, who are not obviously beloved because a lot of fans, like Celtics fans, probably hate them. Pacers fans hate them. Spurs fans probably obviously didn't want to see that, but it wasn't as one sided. Yeah, I ultimately think that people say that phrase, everybody's better than Jalen Brunson until it's time to be better than Jalen Brunson, just because of what Jalen Brunson's shown he can do in the clutch in the fourth quarter. I mean, he's the highest fourth quarter scorer in like the league. He has more fourth quarter points than like so many fucking people that would shock you. It's crazy what he does in big games when it matters in the final stretches of the game.
Nick, what do you have to say about that?
Yeah, I have two main things. I think the first thing about Brunson is throughout high school and college, he's won everything. He led his high school team, who were frankly a very small high school in the time. He led them to the championship in high school, give or take. And then he gets to Villanova. He won 2 national championships at Villanova. And obviously, I think the Mavs were a premature team, sort of at the time, looking at like their roster, and especially the expectations that he had with Doncic being as the main guy. I don't think a lot of people really expected anything from him, and obviously he performed there as well. So I think he's been a winner in every stage of basketball that he's ever played in. So seeing that, I think is like the main. I think for him too is a big motivator, just because he's been a winner at every stage that he's played at, and being able to lead a team, especially with a team like New York that really gave him a chance, especially with the Mavs signings offerings just such little money to Brunson, considering the contributions that he had, and them not just wanting to pay him, which I think is really crazy. Obviously looking back, I know they say hindsight's 2020, but um, and then I would say the other thing is obviously Jalen Brunson is the play. He's the 1A guy realistically now. I think a lot of people could say that. But the Knicks showed up. Cat changed his whole style of play to basically let the team win. He gave up less shots. He was looking to play make a lot more. And along with that, all the other guys did their job. Like if you look at Shamit during the Sixers series was huge. I think he shot like 90% from three or something like that during that series. Jose Alvarado gave really big minutes towards the Knicks as well. Obviously in Game 4, but I think even before that he did. Even then, even look at Mitch. He got rebounds galore against probably you could argue the best player in the world and defensive player of the year. Um, so overall, like obviously everybody says, look, oh, it's Brunson can't win, Brunson can't do this. It's easier to beat Brunson until it's time to beat Brunson, wherever they say. But at the end of the day, the Knicks showed up at every opportunity that they had to, and every player on that roster contributed to a win in some way during the finals. So obviously, while Brunson is the main guy, I just think the rest of the team just frankly showed up during the big moments, and obviously, when that happens, you're probably gonna win a chip. So that's just my thoughts.
That's so true. The team was so connected. I mean, Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart, Mikal Bridges, they obviously have history playing at Villanova together, winning when it matters. But, you could see Cat really be supportive of Brunson. I remember seeing a clip after they won a game in the finals when he's like, "You're never alone." And then I think after every game, the entire team had the same mentality. They would always say the same thing. Even when they went up 2-0 in the finals on the road, they're like, it's a 0-0 mentality. It's a 0-0 mentality. That's the type of thing you need to have. That's the type of seriousness you need to bring to that stage. I have nothing against the Spurs and these players, but they obviously didn't understand the severity and grasp that moment just because I feel like they were happy to be there. A lot of talk was on how the Spurs reacted to when they beat the Thunder. They started crying, even though they hadn't won it all yet. When the Knicks beat the Cavs, made it to the Eastern Conference, made it to the finals, bringing the franchise to the finals for the first time in 27 years. They were excited. They weren't crying. They were so locked in, and I think that's the type of thing you need to win a championship.
100%, Jake. I'd have to say I agree with you there. I mean, it was an unbelievable run. Remind me, how many games in a row did they win?
They won 13 consecutive playoff runs in a row, playoff wins in a row.
I mean, that's ridiculous. Is there any other time, I mean, from your knowledge, that something like that has happened?
The only team to have more were the 2017 Warriors. They won 15 playoff games in a row, and that's the team
when
with
they
Steph
had like
Curry, Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had like the
Yeah.
insane. I mean, never forget Draymond Green, of course. Can't
Yeah,
forget him.
him too. He was there.
He was an influential player.
Yeah.
I will say that.
He was. If you bet him to foul out, it wasn't necessarily a bad bet.
Not the worst bet you could make.
No, it's not the worst you can make. I mean, and when he mentioned Shamit before, I was just thinking about that day. There was a day that Jake and I were texting about basketball, and we were like, "Oh, let's make a basketball parlay." And I'll never forget because I was actually at the liquor store, and I was just picking up some beer, and Jake's texting me, and we said we'll do 2 legs each, and I think my 2 legs were for OG and Josh Hart, and then I don't remember the first player you said, Jake. Like you said another good player. It might have been Brunson, and then you said let's take a Shamit for 2 threes, and I was like, are you sure? Because it was like a low person to do that on the list. You know how they kind of in the sports books they order it based on how likely they are to do it, and Shamit was towards the bottom, and he clutched, and then that's when he started his run of just knocking down threes. So I'll never forget that because you said to me, you're like, I'm so confident in this guy, and you were completely right. Holy, is that
Cameron.
the Honch? Is that the big Honch? Oh my God. Wait, Cameron, try holding your phone sideways and see how that looks. See if does it flip your camera? Can you like make your camera sideways?
Yeah, I could do that. Bang.
Perfect. It didn't look good. So I know, chat, you're probably exploding right now. We already had one celebrity on, and now we have the up and coming star, the biggest of Honchos, bigger than Cheerios. It's Honcho, big Honcho. Please, Honcho, say something to the people.
What's up, people? I'm back. As you know, I'm Big Honcho. Yeah. And we with Jake Lacy looking like a hobo out here. So let's roll.
Off to a great start, Cameron. And is
Dude,
there any reason why
I've been worse.
Is there any reason why you made such a negative comment towards the one and only Jake Lacy? I don't think he appreciated it.
Yo, he needs a haircut. At least he doesn't have that big ass beard anymore, but
I shaved for you, Cameron.
Another person just
I
joined
do
this
need a
call.
haircut. You're right.
Hello?
hello, Peter.
Oh, it's Peter. Hey, Peter, what's up? We're
What's up,
filming
guys?
a podcast right now.
Peter, the World Cup star. What's up?
I don't know if you're actively trying to talk, but we can't hear you right now.
Oh, yeah. What are you doing a podcast about?
We were talking about right now we were kind of doing like a general thing about New York sports, but while we were waiting for Big Honcho to join, we were just letting Jake glaze the Knicks and just talk about their everything history with himself, and then also he was talking a little bit about their playoff run and their chip, and then the everybody's better than Brunson until it's time to be better than Brunson. That's kind of what we've covered. We've only been recording for about 20 minutes, give or take.
Is this going to be in the episode?
Oh yeah. Yeah, because I'm not cutting it, so you don't have
Oh,
to
okay.
stay. I'm just saying, like, yeah, it'll be in the episode.
I just got the notification that Cameron joined, so I wanted to see what was up.
Yeah, he just
Gotcha.
joined. You, Peter, you're more than welcome to stay. If you want to turn your camera on, that's fine. If you don't, that's fine as well.
I'll
But
stay for a bit. I'll stay for a
sure,
bit.
be my guest. Everybody that's in
Don't
this
let me
cord,
interrupt you guys.
no problem. Peter, if you want to interject with your thoughts or rage bait, that's totally fine.
Jake, why the fuck are you smiling like that? What the fuck?
And it begins. Now things are interesting.
Because now it turned from a serious conversation into you're on a steady slope. You're on a steady slope. But I'm still excited to talk about this.
All right, Honcho, I want you to say something. You just got here. Give us
Um,
your current opinion on the Knicks.
My current opinion on the Knicks, yes, they won, but they're acting like they're the best team in the fucking world. Like, dog, stop sucking Brunson off.
They are the best team in the world. They won the finals, you fucking idiot.
Yo, winning the finals doesn't mean shit, bro. Doesn't mean shit.
All right, the team that wins the World Cup, they're not the best team in the world. So that's just whatever.
That's the best team in the world because it comes every 4 years. The Knicks,
Yeah, but
they
the
won.
basketball. All right, so if the NBA finals only happen once every 4 years, it'd be different.
Yes, because
Why?
you gotta train for that moment. Like here, it happens every year.
They're not
Wow, the
training for
Knicks,
that moment. They're training for their club teams.
yo, shut the fuck up, Peter.
I will
Cameron,
say I want to
Cameron.
ask Cam a question. Who in terms like do you follow the NBA? Like who's your favorite team? Like let's get more insight into that before we start talking about the Knicks.
Like I literally talked to and Jake. Basketball ain't my sport, so like I like the Lakers just because LeBron James is the fucking goat. He's the fucking man. His little boy Bronny's a goat too, but let's see where that goes. But yeah,
Hold on.
LeBron,
Bronny's a goat. Bronny's a goat.
he's
Greatest
not
of
the
all time.
goat.
That stands for. To be clear.
I said, hopefully he becomes the goat.
I don't think that's likely, Kim.
I know, man. Sad.
But you want it to happen.
I want it to happen. It would be pretty sick. We'd have goat 1 and goat 2.
I can't disagree. That's what it would be if it were to happen. What I want to ask you, Cameron, is if somebody came up to you and said, "Big Honcho, what's your favorite basketball team?" What's your answer?
Mine's the Lakers. I just said because of LeBron James.
Okay. Is there any other reason you like the Lakers besides LeBron? Because that's not his only team, you know.
I bring it to the past. Jerry West. I went to West Virginia. Jerry West was a big West Virginia star. So there we go. Hey Jake, stop cheering. I'm surprised you haven't painted your whole room blue and fucking orange.
Cameron. So when the Celtics won in 2024 and everybody talked about how they're the best team and they're the new dynasty, nothing was said. And when the Thunder won in 2025, when they won and everyone thought they were the new dynasty, nothing was said. But now the Knicks won, and that's too much. The conversation is too much. Obviously, it's talked about a lot because it's the first championship for the team in 53 years. It's the first New York sports championship in forever. It's going to be talked about a lot.
What about the
I wouldn't say
Yankees in
forever.
2009? Yeah.
That's been a while, man. It's been more than a decade.
Forever? 17 years? I mean, that's like not even a second in the grand scheme of an hour of history.
Not even a second. Yeah.
Low-key, the Knicks did get lucky, if I'm being honest, because every team they played was the... No, let me finish. Every team they played was the lower seed who just came off a 7-game series. You can't control who you play.
The Spurs shouldn't have lost to the Thunder. I mean, the Thunder shouldn't have lost to the Spurs. The fucking Pistons shouldn't have choked against the Cavs. The Celtics certainly shouldn't fucking choked against the 76ers. I mean, what do you want from me?
You can't
It's about the
control how
teams
you
you play.
play. I'm just saying it's kind of an asterisk championship, if you ask me.
Right.
Wait, hold on, Peter.
And my-
Asterisk championship. Can you expand on that just a little bit more?
Well, some people say certain finals are like asterisk championships, like the bubble, for example, because it wasn't played in like actual NBA arenas with like real fans and stuff like that. They say that one doesn't count as much as other ones. People might say the KD Warriors rings are asterisk championships because he was in the Western Conference Finals against the Warriors. They were 73-9 team, and then he joined them, so it was like pretty overpowered, if you want to call it that. In the case of the Knicks, I think it's just because like I mean, Tyrese Halliburton was injured. Tatum was coming off an injury. And then all the other teams just kind of bottled it. So they got lucky. You know what I mean? It's cool. Like, I'm not saying they didn't win the championship. I'm just saying, like, it's kind of an asterisk. Like, it's like, oh, they got one. Like, but it's not like a big deal. They're not.
They
dynasty.
weren't.
They're
They
not gonna come
weren't. They
back.
weren't favored against the Spurs. They weren't favored against the Spurs. By the way, they were down 22 points to Cleveland in Game 1 and won that game. They were down 2-1 on the road against the Hawks in the very first round. Like, they didn't. Like, you're trying to act like they didn't face adversity. Deal. They faced adversity.
The Spurs were super inexperienced. You were playing James Harden in the playoffs. The fucking 76ers, they were like disabled by the end of the fucking series. Joel Embiid played like how many games? Like, they were completely fucked up. Like, and you played the Atlanta Hawks in the first round. That's the only real series we played. Everything else was just the other teams were tired.
Right.
I like that take, Peter. I do.
Thanks, Cam.
But Jake, my question is, as being a Knicks fan, does your team winning a championship mean you got to destroy your own city?
Oh, I mean, I don't like the Knicks fans that riot and
Like, what the fuck was that?
They
beat people
didn't
up.
completely destroy the city though, bro. Like like the mayor was pretty smart. He put in some decoy school buses near Times Square, and people fucked up those school buses. But those were the school buses he wanted the people to fuck up. Those were like extra school buses they didn't need and shit like that. What's not cool is that they beat the fuck out of the Spurs fans after game
Yeah.
I think 3 or whatever it was.
Game
It was
3.
a Spurs fan out
Yeah.
there. Yeah, they just beat the shit out of him and like ripped his jersey and lit it on fire. That's not
Yeah.
cool.
That shit's
That's
not cool.
wild.
Those aren't real Knicks fans. Those aren't real Knicks fans.
No, I
I'm the
completely
New York
agree.
Knicks.
I think another thing, I know we talked about the asterisk championships before.
Also, I'm gonna pee real quick, so just Kiby, you're in charge.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate on each.
Make sure that stays green.
Yeah, obviously I can't argue with the Warriors championship. I think KD joining a super team like that was just honestly just hurting his legacy in itself. But I want to talk about the Lakers championship because I think everybody gives so much slander towards that championship specifically. Considering LeBron was on the team as well, I think that's a huge reason why a lot of people throw the asterisk. But at the end of the day, there was no home court advantage. Higher seeds had to play. Higher seeds did not get rewarded with home court advantage. I'll say that first of all. And with that, everybody was training and practicing in the same exact facilities. There was no advantage whatsoever for any team that's playing in the bubble. And the Lakers still ended up pulling it out, which I think is honestly more. I think the 2020 championship that the Lakers played, I think is probably the most impressive championship that any team has won because of
To
that.
be clear, I don't think it's an asterisk championship. Danny
Okay.
Green, who was on the Lakers at that time, said
Yeah.
out of all the championships he won, including the ones with the Spurs, that was easily the most difficult one.
Yeah, and
Other people have said that's an asterisk championship.
Yeah,
but I don't
fair.
believe that.
Yeah,
personally.
fair. Okay. And then I would say for the Knicks, look, obviously, like you said, teams were playing a 7-game series. Team series were going long. But at the end of the day, the Knicks had the biggest point differential out of any playoff run in the entire history of the NBA. So they outscored every opponent and also outdefended every single opponent more than the 72-9, or is that right? 72-9? The 72-9
73-9.
Warriors. 73-9. At the end of the day, the dominance that they showed with the opponents that they played against, and it's not like they played some terrible teams. Look, the Cavs have an MVP in James Harden. Look, I know he's in his
All right.
older days.
I mean, James
Okay.
Harden was not playing on an MVP level in this
I
series.
completely
You can't.
agree. Okay, sure. You had Donovan Mitchell, who has playoff experience. He has gone to the Eastern or the Western Conference Finals with the Utah Jazz with Joe Ingles. Let's be real; like he is a very good player at the end of the day. They had Evan Mobley, who was acclaimed to be a superstar player on a very large contract. They also had Jared Allen, who are supposed to show up in the playoffs. These guys are getting paid to show up in the playoffs, and they didn't. Let's be real. Then, if you look at, obviously, okay, Atlanta was a good series, but you also have to give credit to the Knicks. Mike Brown changed the entire series by making Cat play the way that he did and getting him more involved in playmaking. And then, if you look also at the finals itself, the amount of adjustments that Mike Brown did in the playoffs, it would not have been done if Tom Thibodeau was not the coach. If you look at playing Jose Alvarado in Game 4 and he scored a bunch of points, you look at even with Miles McBride or Deuce, he played way less minutes because he was given the hot hand to say Jordan Clarkson. Jordan Clarkson played a big role in the finals then. I think overall, in terms of the whole team dynamic, I don't understand how you can consider the Knicks really being like a fake or asterisk championship just because everybody on that team contributed to winning. Where if you look at, say, the Warriors, for example, they maybe played 7 guys deep and just had a bunch of superstars that maybe were more influential into that championship. So I don't know. I think the Knicks really did earn that championship considering everything, and especially looking at, obviously I know that the Spurs didn't have playoff experience, but they did take down a apparent dynasty in the Thunder. And even in the West, look, the Portland Trailblazers took the Thunder to 6 games. So you don't even know who's going to happen and who's going to be better what day. Obviously, look at the Timberwolves now as
Trailblazers
well
took the
too with
Thunder to
Melo.
6 games this year.
Yeah, the Trailblazers or
Who
the
was the
Trailblazers
Spurs?
took the Spurs to 6 games, which I think is even crazier considering the matchups that they had. Look at Donovan Clickin played the series of his life and
Knicks
they
beat them
still
in 5,
lost.
by the way.
Um, yeah, but overall, I think the Knicks just had a very complete team in terms of like what they did and like who contributed. But yeah, that's just my thoughts. I'm gonna leave it there.
Who won the Eastern
Tyrese
Conference Finals
Maxey.
last year?
Crickets.
It was yeah. So I guess no one. I'm trying to.
The
It was Tyrese
Pacers.
Halliburton in the Pacers. Yes, he was injured, right?
Still on
Right.
camera, Nick.
The year before that, who won the Eastern Conference
Trying my
Finals?
best.
Wait,
It was the
Peter.
Celtics, right?
Peter.
Yeah.
You can still
Yeah.
complete your thought, but I would like if you could ask Big Honcho a question of your choosing whenever you're ready.
I got. Sure. I'll make my point and then I'll ask my question.
Okay, perfect.
I'm not perfect with basketball knowledge, but as far as I'm aware, Pacers won it last year. Halliburton's out. The year before that, Celtics win it. Tatum's hurt the whole year, still coming back from injury. I think the East looks a lot stronger if those guys are healthy, and it's a much more difficult path for the Knicks. And even if they get past those teams, they're not going to have the same abilities as they did going into the finals. And that's why, for me, it's a bit of an asterisk championship. It's kind of like the Toronto Raptors making it to the Eastern Conference Finals that year when LeBron was hurt on the Cavs, or if he moved to the Lakers. I forget exactly what happened that year. Not Raptors don't have an asterisk championship. They went up against the Warriors. Then again, Kevin Durant got hurt in that series. So you can't control what you got. I'm just saying, for me, it's an asterisk championship. Anyways, Cameron, what was I going to say? I'm going to ask you a question. Did you bet at all during the playoffs?
Actually, once when the Knicks, I actually won because Knicks money line, easiest bet in the world. So on FanDuel, they had if Knicks go up 5, you automatically win the fucking bet, and I fucking hit that shit.
I tailed that bet.
Yeah, no, easiest bet of the world.
If you had to put your money on who's going to come out of the Eastern Conference next year, who would it be?
Fuck. Eastern, like I said, I don't have ball knowledge, so Eastern Conference, I always forget the fucking teams. Like, who we got?
We got the Pacers with Tyrese Halliburton coming back if he can come off of the shingles and all that. We got the Celtics, depending on what happens with Jaylen Brown and the trades. We obviously got the Knicks. Pistons are coming back with more playoff experience. LeBron might come to Miami with Bam and Giannis, which, I don't know. As a Miami Heat fan, I'm pretty excited about Giannis. But
Yeah, the Heat look nasty with Giannis. Hero and Giannis about to tear that court up.
Hero got traded to the Bucks. He's not playing with the Heat.
What about Bam? Bam and Giannis? That's filthy.
Yeah, that is filthy. I mean, this is another point I was trying to make, Cam. This is a question I'll ask you. What do you think people remember more 50 years from now? Who won the finals in 2026? Or who scored the most points ever in a televised basketball game?
Who scored the most points in a televised basketball game?
No one in the fucking world gives a shit if Bam Adebayo scored 83 points against the fucking Washington Wizards in a fucking regular season game in March. No one gives a fuck. No one cares. No, I forgot it already. I don't care.
no one cares.
We don't know who Wilt Chamberlain played when he scored 100 and how good or bad that team was, but we remember Wilt Chamberlain scoring 100
Yeah.
points.
That's not going to be talked about more. Will Chamberlain, 100 points. No one gives a fuck, bro. No one cares.
Okay,
his picture's
do you know who
everywhere.
won the finals? Do you know who won the finals the year Wilt Chamberlain scored 100 points?
No, bro.
You don't.
Exactly.
You don't. But you remember Wilt Chamberlain scoring 100 points.
Because whoever won that year wasn't breaking a large championship drought. That wasn't, a memorable.
You realize that just because you broke a drought, that doesn't mean a championship means more. It means you were asked for 50 years. You know what that's
no,
what that
it
means, right?
means more to the championship. It definitely does.
Jake, I have another.
Just because, what if I decide to just be trash, like for the next 20 years, and then I do something cool? Everyone's
They
like,
didn't
"Wow, what a
decide to be
comeback!"
trash.
It's like,
They made the
and
finals
what's
and
more
lost.
impressive is just being good along the way. I mean, the Miami Heat were an expansion team, right? They probably contributed more to basketball history than the Knicks, if we're being honest.
Jake, I have a question here.
Anyway, I'm
as
talking
a-
to Cam.
As a New York sports fan, do you think Jalen Brunson makes the Mount Rushmore of New York sports?
Absolutely.
Dude,
We got Eli Manning. We got
Yes. Derek Jeter.
Patrick Ewing.
He's better than Patrick Ewing. Jalen Brunson won a championship.
we can't put Jalen Brunson above Patrick Ewing. Patrick Ewing didn't win a championship.
What about Lundqvist? Rangers. That's another one.
All right,
Did he win a
Derek
championship?
Jeter, Eli Manning, Lundqvist.
Yes.
Yep, 100%.
Sure.
Um,
He's better than Aaron Judge, Cam. You can't deny that.
What
If
about
Judge-
did Babe
if
Ruth play
Kyrie?
for the Yankees?
Yo, if Judge wins the World Series, Brunson's kicked off that wall.
If Judge wins the World Series, then I'm willing to talk about it. But right now, it's undiscussable.
Did Babe Ruth
Judge-
play for the Yankees?
Yes, he did.
And he's on Mount Rushmore.
What did he do for the Yankees?
I guarantee you he won championships.
He won multiple World Series, led them in home runs and pitching.
I guess the Plumbers of 1929.
Well, you could argue the
guess
same
Jalen Brunson
thing.
beat Wembanyama in a finals, man. Wembanyama 7'5", Jalen Brunson 6'2". What do you want from me?
Bro, you're acting like they were matched up against each other every possession.
Dude, in
of every
game four, during the 29-point comeback, they're down 104-100 with 2 minutes left. Jalen Brunson makes a three over Wembanyama.
We get it.
His dick farther down your mouth.
Conversation anymore. Well, when you're willing to have a conversation about it, then we can talk about it.
You can finish your thought. I just wanted to troll.
Troll Jake Lacy.
One thing I will bring up is, look, the Plumber argument. I completely look. You can only play against competition that you're playing.
I gotta
against. But then you look at Babe Ruth. He's got to be on there, like 1,000,000%.
Yeah.
He transcended the Yankees. But then you got to think about Lou Gehrig. You got to think about
Thanks.
Mickey Mantle. You got to think about those guys because they transcended the game, especially for the Yankees in New York, and they kind of built up everything. And then,
Derek Jeter definitely on there.
like, look,
Sure, okay.
I love Brunson to death. I love him. He's a great guy. He's been a great example for New York sports, but I just don't think you could put him up there with one championship. And I really hate to say that, but especially
What about
with
21st century New York sports athletes?
look,
I think he
maybe
belongs up there.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I'll maybe say that. Look, if you give Eli Manning, obviously he's gonna be up there for 21st century.
Derek Jeter.
Lundqvist.
I think,
and then Brunson.
but look, Lundqvist still didn't win. He still didn't win, and I
True.
hate to say it because Lundqvist was the GOAT. He was so good for the Rangers and kind of transcended like the current goalie situation. Look, and who's the goalie that I'm sorry I don't know. Who's the goalie now for them that they gave a bunch of money to? That's like terrible. Not terrible, but he's like average.
Fuck, what's his name?
Igor.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Igor
Igor
Shesterkin. Igor Shesterkin.
Yeah.
Like I feel like he did a huge job in like playing development for him. But I just look for the 21st century. Yes, I think you could put Brunson there now, considering New York sports has just been terrible. Not terrible, but it hasn't been ideal for the amount of success that was pending for New York sports. But I just don't know. Like, look, Brunson won a championship and he played a key role, but so did everyone else. And look at Cat, look at all the other guys. And I want to put him up there so bad. I just don't know if I can do it yet.
Wait, Jake. So I gave Peter this opportunity. I want to give you this opportunity too. Jake, ask. I want you to ask Big Honcho a question that you think is worth him answering right now for everybody.
Okay. That's a good question. Okay.
Okay, go ahead,
Cameron,
Jake.
I was going to say, can we agree that the Knicks are New York's team?
Right now, yes, the Knicks are New York's team right now.
I think it's undeniably always New York's team.
No.
It's not even that they're doing well. It's because Yankees and Mets are split. Like people, there's 50% Mets fans, 50% Yankees fans. The Giants and the Jets are split. There's 50% Giants fans, 50% Jets fans. The Knicks, they dominate most of New York. Like no one's a Nets fan. No one. Who do you know a Nets fan? Have you met a Nets fan? Like who cares about the Nets? The people from New Jersey who grew up like loving the New Jersey Nets are mad because they went to Brooklyn. The people that live in Brooklyn are already Knicks fans. Like the Knicks always. That's why that parade had 2 million people. I guarantee you, a Yankees parade would not have 2 million people. I guarantee you, a Mets parade would like all of these New York teams would not have as many people as a Knicks parade.
You could say that, but everyone's a Knicks fans right now when they're winning. Next year, when they're getting their shit clapped, everyone's not going to be talking about the Knicks.
Who's gonna clap them next year?
Everyone, bro. They got lucky this year.
Like who? Tell me who's gonna clap them.
The Celtics, the Pistons, the Pistons are coming out of nowhere. I support the Pistons.
They're going nowhere, even though they were the first seed in the East this year.
Yeah, they're gonna come back.
Okay.
The Knicks got lucky. It's a one and done type thing. Like you look, I feel like people really rip on Yankees fans because Yankee fans know the Yankees are good. They're good every year. The Knicks, everyone was surprised about that because they were shit for the last 50 years. They're not consistent. And
I mean, that's not true. They made the second round of the playoffs 4 consecutive years. They made back-to-back conference finals. You know, it was a consistent buildup over the past couple of years. If you're talking about like decade, yeah, sure. I mean, there was a consistent year of, 10 years of ass, but teams go through rebuilds and teams bounce back. Then I think the Knicks, they were good in the 90s, man. They've went up against Michael Jordan. They made the finals multiple times. They got unlucky. They had bad beats. Players didn't show up when it mattered. They faced better competition.
And I agree.
I don't think they've forever been asked.
This was their year, but for a team to be claimed New York's team, they got to win more than one championship in a row or in the decade.
Fair enough. I just think New York will unite around the Knicks more than they will ever about in the Yankees, just because of there's no split fandoms.
And I agree with that. Everyone is New York Yankees or fucking New York Mets fighting each other, but no one's fighting over, oh, I'm a Nets fan, fuck you, Knicks fan. Like it's always Knicks. It's no one fuck the Nets.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure more people watch the fucking Liberty than the fucking Nets, bro.
That's true.
Well, I'm gonna play devil's advocate here. I think one thing that, for example, for hockey reasons, my dad was a Rangers fan because, frankly, there was no other New Jersey team to support. The Devils came around in the 2000s. They were an expansion team. The Nets were based in New Jersey for how long? And a lot of people, since they were an expansion team, were just Knicks fans because they were the only team really in New York. Who is to say that if the Nets look, they do looking at their draft picks, I am not saying that they're going to be anything good because frankly, like if you're taking Danny Wolf, or I don't even know, like I'm pretty sure that their pick this year was okay. They got that guy from Louisville, I'm pretty sure.
What was his name? Mikael Brown or something?
Yeah, like he could be solid, but look, who is to say that if the Nets end up going pretty far that they can't gain that same following just because like the Knicks are winning right now?
Dude, they
I
were
think
in a spot with Kyrie and KD and James Harden in the
No, but
2021 playoffs, man,
I
and they
I
went deep.
I completely agree with Kirby because as you see in any sports, any fans, when your team's winning, people start jumping on that bandwagon and you get more fans as you're winning. Once you start losing, everyone claims another team. And like Jake said, one thing I do support him with this, most New York fans, even when they go to shit, they still support the Knicks. Same thing with the Yankees. When they go to shit, most Yankee fans support the Yankees. A lot of these other fans, they're just fake fans. Like
I'm with you.
like Ant with the Raiders. That man don't know shit about the Raiders.
all right, hold on. What the hell are you on about right now? What do you mean I don't know shit about the Raiders? I've been a Raiders fan since I was born. The day I was born, I had a Raiders beanie on my head. The day I was born. So what the hell are you talking about? Cameron, please expand. I want to know why is it? What do you mean I don't know anything about the Raiders? That's absurd.
You don't know shit about football.
That's a lie. I want you to expand on it. Tell me what I don't know.
A lot. The players,
The players, true, yeah. Yeah, you're right.
fantasy
You're right.
football.
First off,
Oh, Cam, you do
you
not want to
came
get into
in
fantasy
last in
football
fantasy football.
discussion.
Why are
You
you even
do
talking
not
about
want to
that?
do that. You
We
don't
played
want
in
to
a
do
league
that.
together, and you ran a marathon that took you 7.5 hours because you lost. So why are you bringing up fantasy, bro? You shouldn't.
Dude, you
If I
traded
don't
me
know
Jalen
anything,
Waddle for fucking Trent Montgomery
no,
and then
Honcho.
fucking.
If I don't know anything about football, why did I beat you in fantasy? I need to know why.
Because I traded half my team to Jake, bro.
You didn't trade
Why
half your
did you
team
do
to
that?
Jake. You made like 1 or 2 trades with Jake. You made a trade with
And then
me.
I literally said my team lost 3 in a row and I literally gave up. I literally said, here's my fucking team.
That is not what happened. That's not what happened. What do you mean? Wait, Peter, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Cameron just started saying that I don't know anything. First, he said I don't know anything about the Raiders, and then he brought up fantasy football, which I played with him,
Yeah.
and he lost. So I
Yeah.
don't even know where he's trying to go with this right now. But maybe you could ask him something about that.
Well, my mind goes to our fantasy basketball league and my dealings with Cameron in that league.
And
Which,
how's that? Expand on that, please.
oh my god, Ant, I don't even know how to describe it, dude. It was actually the most fun I've ever had in my fucking life. I would just wake up every morning texting Cameron. I think one time I texted him, Cameron. You're about to get knocked. You're about to not qualify for the playoffs. You got to do something big in all caps. And then I would offer him like Brandon Pajemski for Austin Reeves, and just do dumb shit like that.
And I wouldn't accept it, bro.
But the best trade I ever got was the night before the playoffs started. Um, Cameron, I don't know, you were playing somebody and you needed a certain amount of points, and Reeves was out or something. And I had Emmanuel quickly. I was like, Cameron, if I send you quickly, like he'll get the points you need to get to the playoffs. Just you got to send me Reeves
I
for
remember
quickly.
this. I remember this.
And I fucking did
He
it.
sent me Reeves for quickly, and then quickly got injured in the first quarter and didn't play the rest of the season.
Fuck
Peter, it
you.
was the night of
There
our
was
baseball
many
draft.
suspect trades.
It
There
was the
was
night of
many
our baseball
suspect
draft. I
trades.
was with Cameron and Nick. Me, Cameron, and Nick were watching whatever basketball game was on, and they stayed after the draft. And I remember
Yeah.
you texting, and I was like sending videos of Cameron. Also, Cam, can you move your finger, bro? Oh, he's frozen. Oh,
He's
Cam.
back.
All right.
Yeah.
Move your fucking finger. Jesus.
Cameron, it's still in frame. Cam, it's still in frame.
What do you mean? There's no finger?
It's in frame again.
Not-
Move it. Stop touching it.
He's good. He's good now. He's good now. Okay, Cameron. So Peter, while you were gone, Cameron started saying what you were saying. He said he also thinks that the Knicks got lucky. So Cameron,
Yeah.
now that Peter's back and your finger's back on the camera, why don't you expand on that a little bit, Cameron? Why do you think Cam, stop, please. Cameron,
What?
stop with your finger on the screen for a second. Okay, you're good.
Not.
Cameron.
Yes.
Okay. Why do you think that the Knicks got lucky?
I think Knicks got lucky because, like we said before, the Knicks were never consistent. It was just, oh, we fucking won it because, like Peter said before, the other teams were tired. The Knicks got lucky. That's all I got to say. They got lucky. They never were consistent. And now, oh, we won. Wow, we're the best team in the world. We're going to be the best team in NBA history. No, you're not.
What teams are better than the Knicks currently?
Most.
Just name some. Don't just say most.
Most of them.
The Thunder, the Cavs.
The Cavs.
Yep.
The Cavs are
Yep.
better. All right.
All right, Cameron, I've had a question I want to ask you for a really long time.
What?
So when we text in the group chat, you always do this thing where instead of putting a comma next to a word, you like do a space and then put the comma. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to and then like a period, you'll do a space, then a period. I just wanted to ask you, like, where do you think commas and periods belong in like written like grammar? Like, where do they belong, do you think?
Next to the word.
Why do you never put it next to the word then? Like ever?
Because I don't text like I'm writing an essay, bro.
But you have to go out of your way to like type a word. Let's say you typed the sentence, trade me Austin Reeves, right? You'll type out all of those letters, trade me Austin Reeves.
Crying.
Then after you write that S on the end of Reeves, you press the space bar, then you press the period. If you really wanted to use the period at the end of that, you could just press the period. There's no need to press the space bar. So I'm just curious about like what that thought process is when you go about writing a sentence.
My thought process, not really thinking sometimes.
Okay. Yeah.
And like, what's it called? It's just most of the time, it's just like I'm just typing fast. I
You got
just
places
type
to be, you got money to make, shit like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, that makes sense.
Cameron,
yeah.
I have a genuine question.
Wait, also,
What?
Cameron, your camera's frozen. Do you notice that? It's just your
No.
face is. Can you turn it off and turn it back on real quick for us?
No, this is profile picture.
Good. Good.
Cameron, I have a genuine question.
All right, Jake, ask your question.
If Judge wins a ring for the Yankees, you think he's a better New York athlete? You think he's king of New York?
Yes, he
Why?
broke records that players haven't broken before. He's
Okay,
the
so
first player to hit the first to 200, first to 250, first to 300. Like, nobody hits.
so you think that makes him the most beloved athlete in New York?
He does have an MVP, to be fair.
Yeah, to be fair,
Yeah.
Jalen Brunson, he wasn't even first
No,
team.
I'm not even debating it. I'm just
He's just a
asking
product
why.
of a good system.
I'm just trying to
You
see
put Austin
why.
Reeves in that same system and they win the championship. 100%.
No, you don't.
Wait, Peter. So you're saying you don't think that Brunson was a like a defining factor as himself? Like you're saying you could have put other players in that same position, and the Knicks would have had the same outcome. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Mike Brown's a great coach, and their roster was super deep. There was probably at least like 8 or 9, if not 10 guys they could put out on the court and like maintain like leads and stuff like that. So like
The
Brunson's a
Knicks
good
scored
player.
94
Like don't get me
points in
wrong,
the
like
game they
Brunson's
won
a
the
good
championship.
player, but the thing is like he's not really an MVP level caliber player. He never
You're
really will be.
rage-baiting. You're literally.
He's never
rage-baiting.
really. He was second team All NBA. He was second team All NBA.
Okay. Let me explain something. In Game 5 of the NBA Finals, the one where they won it, the Knicks as a team had 94 points. Jalen Brunson had 45 of those points.
Right, and I feel like Donovan Mitchell would have gotten
the rest of the team 49.
Well, it's not really like they keep giving the ball to Brunson. If you shoot 37 shots, I damn sure hope you get 45 fucking points. Like it's not really like it's more of a usage thing than it is about his individual talent.
Let's see how many shots he took in that game.
Tell me, bro.
Yeah, tell me, boy.
27.
Yeah, if you shoot 27 shots and then 10 free throws or whatever it was, I hope you get 45 points as a professional basketball player.
Crazy.
Aaron Judge was an MVP. Sorry.
Just rage bait.
No problem, Peter. I was going to actually have you keep going. I want to ask you a follow-up question, like based off the route of where you're going right now. And we've actually discussed this like in the group chat before, so I'm curious where your thoughts are now that it's all over. So every team, for the most part, has like a notable leader. Like for example, for the Lakers, you could say that it's like LeBron or Luka. And then, or for example, the Celtics, Jason Tatum, and for the Knicks, it's Brunson, right? So if we're ranking team leaders, where do you think Brunson falls of the team leaders?
Well, I would probably put OG Anunoby as the leader of the Knicks, personally. I
Oh, you
mean,
think so?
you don't really
We're
because
lying.
you don't win that game. You don't win game 4 if he doesn't get that tip in. He's like better.
Who was made captain of the team? Who was
He's a
the
lot better
defined captain
defensively.
of the
Like
team?
he's a lot better defensively. OG Anunoby and Brunson's a
This is just
liability
rage
on
debate.
defense.
This
So
is not
it's
what I'm
just
here
like,
for. Cam
what
is
is it?
frozen, by the way.
What?
You're frozen, Cam.
My bad, bro.
Okay, assuming Jalen Brunson is the leader of the Knicks.
Just assume it. Just assume it for sake of argument.
Sure.
Assume it. Come on.
I mean, he's not a top 5 guy you want to build your team around right now. You know, he's just like I said, he's just in a good system. Like they have a great team, they have a great coach, they have great fans. Like you put a different player in that position, I think you probably would have gone undefeated, honestly, if you put Donovan Mitchell in there instead of Jalen Brunson. But you know, it's just me.
Right.
What if it was LeBron, Peter?
This is just.
Well,
rage
I mean,
debate.
LeBron, you know, kind of a forward, maybe not as good defensively as he used to be. So I don't know. I mean, you probably still win the championship with LeBron. Yeah.
What about Bronny?
It's just rage debate.
Bronny,
Jake.
I mean, you probably still get to the finals. I'm telling you, the system of the Knicks God is just so good. Like, you can't even really, you know.
Jake,
up,
here's
Cam?
a question about Brunson. So you
Mhm.
know how LeBron, you basically put him on any team and he brings them to the championship?
Mhm.
You think if you put Brunson on those teams, he's bringing them to the championship?
No, the Knicks built the team around Brunson and the way he plays.
Okay. So is
They got OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges because to make up for Jalen's lack of defensive ability, and they got Cat to get a big man next to him. You know, they got Mikal Bridges and Josh Hart because he played with those guys. You know,
So you're literally saying Brunson struggles. So does that really make him the GOAT of New York if he has all these struggles?
yeah. I mean, he's won a championship. Judge hasn't. So,
But yeah,
and
Jordan
Judge has been
Clarkson
in
won
the
a
World Series.
championship too. You know, like they all won.
But
They
Jalen
all won a
Brunson's the leader of the
championship.
team, man.
I don't know if he's the leader
So
though.
I'm not
Like,
engaging with you.
okay,
But yes, Cameron, I do because I think he leads the team, and he won the championship. So
well, Cameron, I'll ask you this. I don't know so much about baseball, really. Is Aaron Judge a liability on defense?
So last year against the Dodgers, he was a liability because he did drop a pop fly right to him. But usually you put Judge out there, he's making plays left and right. And he is declared one of the best outfielders in the league, even with his mitt, not just because of his bat. But yeah,
Judge doesn't show up in the playoffs.
he's not wrong.
Brunson
Judge in
does.
the playoffs, that's the one thing that holds him down. He does not show up in the playoffs. So
And Brunson
If
does.
they were to, in the
It's
hypothetical where he
exposed.
wins the finals, you'd have to imagine he did show up in the playoffs. So therefore, because he's not a liability on defense and he showed up in the finals, if he were to win a World Series, he would be the king of New York.
and also the Yankees don't get players to base them over Judge. Like, oh, we need a fucking first baseman because Judge can't throw the ball to home plate. Like, no, they don't do that.
Well, until he wins the championship, it's all hypothetical, and Brunson's better. So
Okay, gotcha.
I will say, I think Judge with his bat, you know, like he's brought to the World Series. They went to the final. Obviously, Soto had a lot to do with it, but I honestly think we're giving Judge a lot of slander. I really think, like, he obviously, look, he hasn't won a championship. He's been an MVP, but look, I like if you look at the team now, like Paul Goldschmidt's been playing the best baseball of his life.
Bro, he's such a
Yeah.
beast. That guy is
he's
He's
great.
playing
He's
so
good.
well. He's actually playing so well.
So like,
And he's old as shit.
but look, basketball is just one of those sports where you get multiple possessions. You could rely more on one guy, but frankly, winning a baseball title, winning a World Series, I think is more difficult than winning an NBA title. And I'm not saying that in terms of Brunson and his ability. I'm not discrediting that because every single series they were doubted. But baseball is so reliant. Like, look at pitching. Can Judge affect pitching performances? He can't. He could only.
Ohtani can.
Nope.
Okay, look. Okay,
This
Otani
is true.
is.
It's a good word.
you cannot. Judge can only do so much for his team. He only gets to the plate 3 or 4 times a game. He's only gonna be able.
Yeah.
But
He's
man,
only gonna be
he
able to
had
make
that
so
ball
many
right in
plays
his
to
gloves and he
affect.
dropped it, man. He
Yeah,
could have
look.
affected that play and he didn't. And he affected it negatively.
No, I completely agree with that. But
You got to make
and
those
look, Judge is
opportunities
getting
count
old
when you have
too,
them.
so he's running out of time. But I think Judge should get more credit than what he's done, especially with the Yankees. There's a lot of pressure in playing in New York, and you can say the same about Brunson. But there's only so much that you're able to control, especially from a defensive outcome when you're not even the one throwing the ball towards the batter. So I don't know, but I do think right now you
This,
got.
this is
I think right now you just got to hold Brunson over Judge, but I think it's very close.
this
If
is
we're
Actually,
nothing
talking
Cameron, you're
against
about,
frozen again. I don't even know how this is
you go, Jake.
possible. There he
Dude,
this is
goes.
nothing. This is nothing against Judge, right? This is nothing against Judge. It just shows how historic of a franchise the Yankees have had and how many great players. But I feel like Judge will always kind of live in the shadow of Derek Jeter, even if he wins a championship.
that
Brunson doesn't
doesn't even
really have
make
a guy to,
Well,
you
Walt
know.
Frazier won
be
more
compared to.
championships than Jalen Brunson, so I would really put him as the
That
best
was
Knick of
years
all time.
ago, though. You know, that was years ago.
I mean, but it
He's not
still
going to live in
happened
the
in the
shadow of him
lifetime.
because he's like, that it wasn't in this century. Jeter
But if you're
was this
talking about
century.
Spike Lee, who's such a great Knicks fan, I mean, he watched Walt Frazier do it twice, so like, it's not that
and
far
Jake
ago.
and Jake, they're two completely
Cam, you're
different
frozen again.
guys. Ah, you can't even compare Judge and Jeter. They're two different kinds of players.
They're the
And yet,
captains of their team, man. That's
I,
what
I
I'm
get
trying to
I
say.
get that, but you said in the shadow. They're not even the same position. And yes, people
In
look.
terms of like the way people view the Yankee greats, man,
I
of
get
recent
that.
times, of this
Judge
decade.
Judge is not going to bypass anyone who has won a World Series until he wins a World Series.
Well, that's what I'm saying. And the Jalen Brunson doesn't really have anyone to like, be compared to. The best he's got this century is Melo, who didn't do shit. So I'm just saying, like, that's why I think Brunson gets like all this, shine. I'm not even
But if we're
trying to
talking
discredit.
about,
I'm not trying to discredit Judge at all.
if we're
I'm
talking
just
about
trying to
like
say
the
that
goats of the
Brunson has
tri-state
this
area,
opportunity.
sorry. I thought you were done. I thought you were done. Now he looks upset. I'm sorry. Go, Jake.
No,
You cut him
Okay,
out.
if we're talking about the goats of the tri-state area, I think you also got to consider Thierry Henry for the New York Red Bulls. If we're talking about like this century and the best players, I feel like that he's up there in terms of like Mount Rushmore.
I told you as soon as these people join.
All right, guys. So we're at the
Yes.
part where
Bring
we
us
need
back to
to.
reality.
What, Jake?
Bring us back to reality, please.
Well, we've hit the 1 hour 1 minute mark, so we are at the time where we're going to close things out. But as a group, I'm gonna let you guys discuss one more thing to close this out. Does anybody, Honcho, Kiby, Jake, Peter, does anyone have anything that they think would be worth um, saying or discussing as our final little like subtopic?
I do.
Okay, go ahead, please.
I feel like maybe the question's obvious, but which New York sports team do you think will win a championship again? And this includes the Knicks. Like, will the Knicks win again? Will the Yankees win first? Like, who do you think?
That's what I was gonna ask. I was gonna literally say, what New York sports teams do you think gonna win again or have the biggest impact to New York?
I was also
And
going to ask that question.
Peter sucked dick.
I was planning to ask that question as well, and so was Kiby.
Good.
Definitely. But honestly, with the way the Mets and the Yankees are playing, I don't know, bro. They've been duty. But
Mm-hmm.
but once we get Judge back, things are gonna turn around. And we're looking at some pitching prospects. I think honestly, the Yankees been hot for the past few years. They played the Blue Jays last year. Sadly lost to them. But like we went to the AL conference and almost won, but we lost that one. But hopefully, we do have the best record in AL right now, and almost in the MLB. But
Mm-hmm.
sadly, the Brewers took that from us. The Brewers, they got that Jacob guy who's fucking nasty, Jacob Zazowski or whatever his name is, averaging 102 miles an hour. Kid's a demon, but he's gonna fucking snap his arm because no kid who's 6'8" throwing 102 is gonna last that long. Tommy John's coming, buddy. You better watch out.
I think the Yankees are probably the best bet if I had to put money on it because the American League is so wide open. Because anything can happen in the playoffs. Because they have these players who have experience. Judge has experience in the World Series now. I think if they make it back, he plays a lot better. I think the Yankees have winning culture. I think the Yankees are probably the best bet. I think Knicks would be a close second, but I wouldn't count out the Giants either. They have a great head coach. A lot needs to go right. If they're still kind of a bit far away, in my opinion, but they're not so far away.
Yo, we got Juju, baby. We got Juju.
That roster is on paper really great, and we'll see what happens.
We got Williams, Juju. We got the Dart. We got Scat Pack, my guy. Even though he fucked up my fantasy team last year, but second pick and fucking snaps his ankle.
Well, for me, I mean, so the Yankees. Why did you make that face? Oh my god! All right. So for me, the Yankees are not winning shit because the Dodgers are just so good. Like the Dodgers are legit, so good that they will never top the Dodgers. So for at least a decade, you're not getting anything from.
Shout out Justin.
Yankees.
Shout out Justin Robleski. Shout out Justin Robleski. Awesome Dodgers pitcher on my fantasy team.
If we're talking about
16 starts.
If we're talking about the Knicks, no team has gotten their second championship since the Raptors, as far as I'm concerned. So
it's not even
we're
true.
looking
The Warriors.
They got two championships since the Raptors.
No, the Raptors. What do you mean 2 championships?
I mean, since the Raptors have won, no one has gotten their second after that. It's been
yes.
You
worded it wrong. You worded it weirdly.
Okay, so I feel like that kind of counts the Knicks out just because the NBA is so competitive and different things will happen. So that's probably another decade. If we're looking at the New York Giants, we can sit here and be excited about Jackson Dart and Scatterboo and all that. And don't get me wrong, I get excited about them too, but they're it's not really gonna happen. The Giants have been so ass for so long. Our lines
we got a winning coach. We got a winning coach.
Sure, but so does the USA men's national team. It doesn't necessarily mean we're going to win the World Cup. And I'm a big USA fan, and I feel like we should have talked about the World Cup. But that's not here nor there.
Yo, we got the one and only Peter, who's been to 3 USA games, which is pretty dope. I wish I got that experience. Sounds pretty lit. Wish I was you right now, Peter.
Cameron, I was in the middle of a thought, though.
My bad, bro.
Okay, that's all right. Cool. No worries, bro. And so. Yeah, and I wouldn't really say who else. The Giants. They haven't really been doing it in a while and stuff like that. And also, I just feel like Jackson Dart, Scatterboo's just gonna get hurt. He goes so hard.
That's already talked about the Giants.
Okay, so Giants are out, Yankees are out, Knicks are out. So I feel like the teams you guys are forgetting. I feel like it's got to be either the Mets, the Jets, or the Nets. I feel like one of those 3 teams is my bet to be the next New York sports team to win a championship. But I know it sounds crazy, but you look at the Brooklyn Nets.
Not the Jets, Peter.
They have Julius Randle. Nah, I'll get to the Jets. They got Julius Randle. They got. Let me finish, bro. We got Julius Randle and Michael Porter Jr. for the Nets. That is a scary fucking dude. If I'm in the Eastern Conference, as a Heat fan, I'm losing sleep personally for Julius Randle and Michael Porter Jr.
And there are those draft picks they got for Mikal Bridges that everyone talked about.
Yeah, they got those too. So I really feel like for the Nets, it's up and up, If we're looking at the Mets, we just fired our manager. And if you ask me, all of our issues were with our manager. I feel like he wasn't really structuring our roster correctly. And so I really feel like now with this new manager, I feel like we got it. I feel like Juan Soto is going to go on a run. You'd be surprised. I mean, I know I said the Yankees can't win a championship because the Dodgers can't win a championship. But I also feel like there are certain aspects in the Mets roster that, for me, makes it feel like it's a good match against the Dodgers.
Yo, shut the fuck up!
Finally, the New York Jets. I feel like a guy like Geno Smith still has one in him. I don't know. If you ask me, if it's none of those teams, New York City FC, who also play at Yankee Stadium, they might be able to take some of that lucky energy that exists in that stadium and put it into an MLS Cup. So that's how I look at it. Oh, the Liberty, Cameron. That's the real answer. But the Rangers look really good too. They're this next year they're gonna look really good. So I don't know. It's one of those teams, if you ask me. I mean, yeah. So
I honestly think it's gonna be the Liberty.
No, I mean, I think the Liberty do have a shot. They got some dogs, but I think the main thing is there's a lot of, in terms of basketball, I think out of all the four professional main sports, I think basketball is the least amount of variance when it comes to winning. If you look at baseball, there's a lot of like it's very matchup oriented, especially like with pitching and hitting and everything that sort of comes with that. So I think for the Yankees, it's just a lot tougher for them to come through, just because there's so many matchups that they're going to be coming against like throughout the baseball like playoffs. Um, if you look at football, it's the same way. You only have 17 games to prove yourself, and then or 18 now, or no, 17, and then you have to go to the playoffs and perform every single time there as well. And I think it's just a lot tougher to win a championship. But if you look at basketball, you have 7 games in each series to prove that you're the best team. So looking at that, if the Knicks can keep their roster together, I know they just signed Jose Alvarado, but
it's a big if.
Big if.
no, Jose Alvarado is confirmed that he signed a deal. It's Mitch Robinson
No, it's a
that,
big if
as
they
of
can keep the team
recording,
together. I know Alvarado got signed, but I'm saying keeping the whole team is a big if. Mitch is gone.
yeah. So I think if they do keep the whole team together and they do run it back, especially with the amount of second round picks that we got in the last draft, not only will the Knicks be able to ideally keep their roster, but if they do, we'll also have a decent amount of picks to rely on. Obviously, their second round picks, but we can also trade them. So sort of like keep the momentum going with this great team. So I honestly think the Knicks are really in a great position to be the next New York sports team to just win something next, but I can be wrong.
All
OG
right.
and newbie, baby.
We got to
Not
close
how
it
you
out
pronounce
now.
it, Cam.
We got to, yeah, that's true, Cameron. But we got to close it out. So thank you guys for hopping on, and thank you guys for taking the time. Peter, an unexpected joining, but
Yes.
very valid and
Thanks
made
for
it
inviting me
very.
on, man. I prepped all day, dude. I was
You
excited
added a
for
lot
this.
of extra entertainment, I will say, and perspective.
When you
Um,
texted me this morning and you were like, dude, do you want to come in and like give us some thoughts on New York sports? I was excited. So yeah, for sure.
yes, and Peter, after seeing your experience here, I think that we'll have to have you on for future sports segments. As long as Jake
Yes.
definitely has to be there too, and Cameron. But
I
I
that
like
said,
definitely
these.
want to be there with Peter talking sports.
What'd you
thank
say,
you guys
Jake?
for watching, and
Jake,
that's
say it to
it.
my face.
Thanks for having me. I had a great time.
Thank you, Jake.
Thank you.
Me
All
too.
right,
Me too, man. Thank you.
I'm Big Honcho. We out.
peace. Oh, he just left the call.
Peace.
All right.